on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
We are dancing today because it is a Victory Monday. That's right. Yeah, we're dancing.
Yeah.
We weren't dancing.
We have no idea what's happening week to week.
No, we don't. No clue. Last week, it was the end of the world. This is the worst football team of all time. They were never going to win a game. If they played Notre Dame would actually want to show up and play that game, and Notre Dame would probably win. And this week, now they'll never lose another game again. It's just crazy. And let me just say, all the people that say, "Oh, the fire Tomlin thing was huge last week." They were in a crisis, and they could have gone one of two ways. They could have kept on being crappy, kept on losing, just given up, or they could have chosen the fight, and they chose to fight. So, Tomlin has a million.
There's tons of things you can say that you dislike about Tomlin. Time management. He has no history, even though he's been
being
coaching
too conservative.
But I mean, he has no history of like assistants becoming great coaches underneath. He has none of that. Is it the fact he doesn't want to have these great assistants? Who knows? But he has that team. He has that locker room.
Yes.
That is the one thing he has. That is his
he's
strength.
never ever lost it.
No.
Even when times got bad in previous years, they always played that for him, and that is commendable, and that's where.
Because honestly, as much as we had troubles with Tomlin last week, if you go and I just watched TikTok for a lot of times of the reactions. Check out Ravens fans' reactions. Now, they're only a game behind. Okay. Now, admittedly, they have a tough schedule coming up, but they're only a game behind, and they're playing the Steelers again on the last week of the year. This is not we're 5 games behind with 6 games left. They're close. It's, oh my God, this is another Harbaugh loss. What's wrong with him? We got to get rid of him. We got to get rid of the front office. Lamar Jackson's no good. No one's any good. Derrick Henry had 1 or 2, but other than that, he's a bum this year. Blow it all up. It's him, and they're as
it is funny.
Like I said, because all
the fire Tomlin people in Baltimore, there are fire Harbaugh people.
Mm-hmm.
They want him gone for almost the exact same reasons. And there's legitimate gripes there too. You have one of the best now. Tomlin hasn't had a good quarterback in 5 years. Harbaugh has one of the best quarterbacks, a multiple-time MVP, and you can't get far in the playoffs. That is a legitimate complaint. Yeah. But it's funny. I think both teams, both fan bases would be like, yeah, we'll take Harbaugh on the Steelers, and they'll be, yeah, we'll take Tomlin on the Ravens. It's like, yeah, let's just work out a swap. So it's just funny. But I mean, now they do have, I think they do have a legitimate gripe, because basically the game was decided on 2 or 3 plays, and those were all controversial decisions.
Yeah.
Of course, no, I can't get to the banner. Oh well. I'm not sure which one was the first one, but I think the first one was when the Steelers were going for a field goal. They kick it,
the roughing,
and then they say personal foul, unnecessary roughness, first down Steelers, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. And I still have no idea what the what the deal was there. And that sounds like I think the refs did get that one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then
one
there
thing
was,
that honestly, and to sound like two old men here, back in my day, you could power drive the quarterback and they pat you on the back. You wouldn't even get a penalty or a fine. Now you breathe on them. Or sound like Jack Lambert when he said all the quarterbacks
Richard wore dresses, yeah.
But no, I mean, the roughing the passer kicker, they're very touchy with it these days.
Yeah.
You know, like we've seen quarterbacks who got tackled in a normal play, not driving the quarterback, literally you hit the quarterback as he's throwing, and then you just bring him down. And it's like, 15-yard penalty. We've seen that against the Steelers plenty of time.
I love those because apparently what the defensive player is supposed to do is matrix it. It's supposed to be Neo in the Matrix and stop time. And as he's moving forward, he's supposed to just like stop. Like what the heck do you expect these people to do? They're going 100 miles an hour and they're moving forward and they happen to be landing on top of the quarterback or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, you should be able to common sense say this is someone who's just following through because this is a 6'3", 280-pound human being going at a fast speed. Just saying, okay, versus quarterback throws the ball, the guy takes 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, and then drives them in the run. It's like, okay,
right. That's obvious.
You could have not hit the quarterback.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I understand. But it's like the fact that the officials, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're still not full-time officials.
Correct.
Right? So I'm sorry, you got a multi-billion-dollar league. Each franchise is hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, billions. Okay? You got these TV contracts. How about you get full-time officials?
Right.
Right. Okay, so they don't play. You know what you do? You send them. You have them so they're maybe part of the rules process when rules are decided with the coaches, or when the coaches have the rules committee, have them involve them, bring training, do that. Get them so it's a full year-round gig.
And here's a crazy idea. If it's an athletic thing, and it is, you have to be athletic to be a ref, maybe not have a 70-year-old banker be a referee. Just a thought. Just a thought. There's so many different ways they could do things. Honestly, you don't even need, let's do AI. Let's just use drones everywhere. Let's just have drones all over the place and have, I mean, there's so many different things they could do, and it's just so frustrating that like you said, it's multi-billions of dollars that are being thrown around here, and they can't get it right. It's just it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Every game, it isn't just like the game of the week has all the technology on it, and if you're let's say Tennessee and Cleveland, you have two guys on a handheld camera trying to film the entire game because no one wants to watch that. But every game you have super high def. I mean, they could literally with the ball, with vision, with artificial vision, not even having a chip in the ball, say, here's where it's spotted, here's where it's here.
Right.
Now, could you use that to call holding? Yes. In that case, you would have holding on every play. Because, I mean, literally, if you see, have you ever seen a play where at least one defensive lineman did not get held from the outside, or on the touchdown that the Steelers gave up, TJ Watt basically was in a headlock.
Right.
Behind getting pulled down. And
I mean, he's basically held every play. Yeah. So it's just crazy. The other controversial play was Isaiah Likely catches the ball, makes a step, and somehow and then Joey Porter like knocks it out, and they roll it to incompletion. And from what it sounds like, according to the letter of the rule, that was the correct call. I don't know. It looked pretty much like a catch to me.
No, it did. It did. And the weird, I don't know, because if you're on the sideline, let's say, and you catch the ball, you get 2 feet down, you're falling down. But when you hit the ground, the ball draws loose. They consider that an incomplete pass. But if you, let's say, get your 2 feet down and you tumble over and you catch your feet and just kind of, but it's out of bounds, they say, oh, that's a completed pass. It's the whole have the ball with control, 2 feet down in bounds, and then after having both feet down, make a football move. If the guy could have tucked it or took one additional step, that would be considered it. But like I said, it's so inconsistent. Like, let's say he caught the ball in the 5 and he or caught the ball in the 1. If you remember,
Jesse James
or Antonio Brown remember he caught the ball like on the goal line one year
against
Antonio
the Ravens.
Brown, and he basically went backwards and just stretched his hands out.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just hit that, you don't have to
plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's 2 hands, stretch, and then you can have it knocked out of your hands. But it was called correctly per the letter of the law. The question is the way it's written stupid? Yeah. And can they make it better? Because right now, I remember a while ago that you could not get pushed out of bounds on a catch on the sideline. It would be, he would have gotten 2 feet down if the defender didn't basically pick him up and carry him out of bounds.
Right.
That's a catch.
Right. Now,
if you're a defender, if the guy catches with 1 foot down, you literally could pick him up, walk him off the field, and it's considered incomplete because that's illegal now.
So that's the rule now that if you
that's
push
the rule
him,
now. Yeah,
it's not a catch.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, it's these little, and I think part of the problem is that the rules are done by the coaches.
Yeah.
They're not done by as far as I know, they're not done by a combination of the coaches and, let's say, the player representatives and officials. The 3 people would be most impacted.
I can't imagine how hard it would be to be a ref and just know all of these rules. And like we said, they're part-time. They're doing this part-time. Yeah. So it's just so complicated. I don't know. And they're trying to do instant replay, and they're trying to do this replay assist thing. And I don't know. I just, come on, guys. You're making lots of money. Get it right.
And I mean, there's always going to be weird happenings now and then, but it happens too often.
Yeah.
To be like I said, this isn't the early 70s where, if you want to have your mind blown, and kids, if you want to have your mind blown, look at the NFL draft from 1970 when they drafted Bradshaw.
Wasn't it like in the lobby of some hotel or something like that?
It was in a ballroom of a hotel in New York City.
Okay.
People with old-fashioned phones, smoking their cigarettes right there, and just writing it on the chalkboard.
Yeah. That's it.
And I mean, at that point, there was no NFL films per se that as big as it is now. Most players had second jobs because they needed to survive.
It would be a really crappy telecast in 1970 because all you would see is smoke, and probably everybody was smoking. So it's like where is the commissioner? I don't even see him. There's just a cloud of smoke. Everybody, so it's.
But I mean, like we said, there's every game. There's some kind of weird call that, and you could even say, okay, 2 weird calls really hurt the Ravens. However, they had 2 drives late in the day. One that went deep into Pittsburgh territory. 3 really, because they had one they got the field goal on. They had the second one where they got right there and the ball went right off the receiver's hands with, no one around him. If he would have caught it, it would have been a first down at least. Where I'm following the game along. I was out doing stuff, but I was following the game along. I'm like, oh, first and goal, or, first and 10 on like the, 15-yard line, the Ravens had. I'm like, the way they're driving, I mean, they had a couple big splash plays. The defense was good overall, but they had a couple breakdowns where they got 55-yard runs. Derrick Henry was pretty much contained, except for one like 30-yard run, and the other guy on 3rd and 1 who broke out for 55 yards. But it was like, and and second half, you feel the Ravens coming back. The Steelers offense could not get a first down to if they could have run the ball that game, which they couldn't. If they could have run the ball, you could say, okay, we got the ball back. We have, it's almost time. We're going to run the ball 3 times so the clock doesn't stop. I mean, and we know that in 3 downs, we can get a first down. Or if we run it the first 2 times, we can at least get it like 3rd and 4, where the defense doesn't know whether we'll run it or we could do just like a quick little slant pass or something, where, something where the chance of something bad happening is low. But it was like, pass, okay, oh, clock stops, stop clock. Oh, we didn't get it. Clock stops. And all of a sudden, the Ravens get it back at the 2-minute warning where, they won, but the fact the run game was non-existent.
Which is scary.
Yeah. Where that's when you need a running game.
Mm-hmm.
And not even a great running game, competent. You want to if you get a first down, the game's probably over.
But they made no attempt at a first down. Which was really weird because basically the Ravens had 4 timeouts. This was before the 2-minute warning. So It's like what you took off, like, I don't know, 20 seconds. Like, you didn't even take off a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you didn't even try. It was like, now, I mean, the Ravens were stacked against the run. They knew, they were just preparing for the run. And the Steelers were like, we're not really trying for a first down.
No.
Why? If you get a first down there, the game is over. And I know you're deep in your own territory, and I know that's risky, but come on, because Tomlin's philosophy is, I'm going to let the defense win it. Okay. Most of the time that works. Most of the time this year it has worked, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's just risky.
And what happened? Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of how they lost the first Cincinnati game.
Mm-hmm.
They
had the lead. The defense just needed to make a stop, and it didn't.
Yeah. No.
But that's how they won against New England. That's how they won against the Jets. That's how they won this game, and then that's how they won another game. It's like, we're going to rely on the defense to make that final stop. And
I wonder if the Steelers played New England again.
Oh God. If the Steelers and New England played 10 times, New England would win 9. We just happened to win that one time.
It was all the turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 5 turnovers that game. Without those 5 turnovers, the defense was not stopping. They just had really good takeaway.
Right.
And again, good takeaways this game. Not a lot, but enough that it stopped them.
Well, Lamar Jackson is clearly hurt. He didn't look terrible, but clearly he did run a little bit, but clearly he is not 100%.
No.
And if he was, this would have been a much different result. So, I mean, I know somebody that is a big time Ravens fan, and for some reason I offered him a hug and he said no thanks. But I mean, he wasn't mad about it. We just said, it's like, it's not the Ravens' year. It's just, injuries get to you, and it happened. But not just it wasn't just Lamar Jackson being bad. And credit to the Steelers' run defense for, like you said, not for the most part, not containing the run. But the Ravens defense, I don't know what the hell they were doing. Sometimes they looked as confused as usually the Steelers do.
Yeah.
I mean that Jaylen Warren touchdown, basically like nobody touched him.
No, that looked like
the
something
easiest
out of a
touchdown the
video
year.
game.
Yeah.
It looked like something out of a video game. It's like throw it out there and just run. We're going to throw it out there and just run forward. And no one even got close to touching him until he was in the end zone. I mean, I really don't know what to. Yeah, because I'm looking. I brought up the stats here. The Steelers only had 34 yards rushing.
That's it. That's insane.
Yeah, and if you Gainwell had a 6-yard, Warren had a 5-yard, Johnson had a 5-yard, so there's 16 of 34 yards on 3 runs.
Yeah.
So, but I see what you have up there. Yeah, you know what? When Aaron said, "Hey, we had a great practice," and I had all the guys over my house, and didn't say what he did over the house.
Well, maybe
he can't tell us what he can do over the house, but
it was his birthday too.
Yeah.
What do you get Aaron Rodgers for his birthday?
I'm trying to remember what they brought him.
Oh, I think they just said a cake, but I mean,
they brought him a cake or something.
Like if he had a birthday party, like what? Oh, I know. The Jeopardy home game, because he was the host of Jeopardy, so he could play Jeopardy at home. Since he was host, he'd be perfect he could just be play Jeopardy in his living room. But yeah, I think that was a major shock, because honestly, for the past 3 or 4 games, either he was hurt or he just looked absolutely horrible and washed, as the kids say. And here he came out swinging. The first pass was a 52-yard bomb to DK Metcalf.
And it was not a wide open play either.
No, he was well covered.
That had to be a good throw and catch. That had to be right there, and he put it right there. I mean, it could be that he still had lingering injuries last week, and honestly, it could be someone who is older, who when you get hurt, it hurts more and hurts longer. That the offensive line's been up and down, and he's like, I don't know if I can trust these guys.
Yep.
And maybe because no sacks. He didn't get sacked. Of course, Ravens.
Yeah,
the
Ravens pass rush is horrible.
I mean, Ravens went from like a scary defense, as in, will you get out of the game uninjured?
Right.
To now Ravens defense to be, that's the soft part of their team.
There were times when Aaron Rodgers had literally all day to throw. He could have pulled out a book and read a couple chapters and then thrown the ball. I mean, it was just now there were times where Rodgers was really good running around and avoiding sacks too. I mean, he was just he even said something's like, I just woke up feeling good. Hey, you know what? Mm-hmm. I get it. Some days you get out of bed and you feel good, and some days you get out of bed and you feel like hell. I get it. But it was just hell, he even ran for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
And he did. They almost caught it on camera. The discount double check.
He did look like the discount double check Aaron Rodgers from like 10 years ago. He looked good.
Oh, and by the way, Aaron, just to let you know, if you feel like running, up in Cranberry this Saturday, there's a wonderful Santa Run 5K. I'm sure they would be happy to have you there.
Listen, you get a medal, you get a Santa hat, you get Santa pants. I think you get a beard.
Yeah,
there's lots of incentives to run that. It's 5K.
And good tasty food afterwards.
You know what? Maybe there's a 1 mile family fun run if he doesn't feel like running 3 miles. You know what? Maybe just run with the kids. Run a mile. Yeah.
I mean, as good as like I said, it looked like and we both understand, some days you wake up and you're like, I can't get out of bed because everything hurts. And I'm going to have to sit here for a minute while my legs recover from sleeping so I can get up and walk normal. And some days you're like, everything feels great. I didn't do anything different, but everything feels great right now.
Now, one other thing that was different this week is the addition of not just one, but two more wide receivers. They just picked up Adam Thielen, and also Marquez Valdes-Scantling was on those. And yes, they only got one target each. It's not like they had a big, impact. But what's his face was Roman Wilson was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
And they're both big dudes. And Calvin Austin is fine. He's a nice little guy and he's fast and cool. But you can't have an entire receiving core of nice little guys. You need some big dude too to go along with DK Metcalf.
I'm about to say this is not the 1983 Washington
the Fun Bunch or whatever they're called.
Yeah. Where he had all the small players,
Smurfs or whatever they were called. I forget what the
Smurfs. They were the Smurfs, and you had Joe Theismann as quarterback before the leg thing happened. Yeah. So, but you also had John Riggins as your running back. So, I mean, yeah, you need size, and apparently I would not feel good being a healthy scratch.
I hate to say it, but it sure seems like this was a failure of a draft pick. For sure seems like he's a bust because they desperately needed a wide receiver too, and he just did not fill the shoes.
Yeah,
and I mean the opportunity was right there. We desperately needed someone, and it just didn't work.
And something you mentioned before is like, even let's say, and they're still okay. Right now, I would say they're in the driver's seat, and the Miami is playing good. Miami is not the crappy team they were early in the year. They're playing good. But let's say they still win the division. Okay, they'll probably be the number 4 seed because right now the Jaguars are 2 games ahead of them for the 3rd seed. Okay, but let's say they go in the playoffs. They look pretty good. They're healthy, which is one of the things that's been killing them in the playoffs, injuries.
Right.
And I've heard people say, "Oh, you get this rent a player and you're hurting the development of this young player." And I'm thinking, as a knee-jerk reaction, but that would be if you were like early in the year. You scratched him in game 13. Even if for rookies, you're no longer really a rookie at game 13, week 14.
Right.
You've been in the system. You should be starting to get used to the speed and everything else. If you haven't shown anything right now for a high, this is not a 7th round draft pick you got as an extra wide receiver who started on special teams. And this is someone you were expecting to be number 2 before he got injured last year. And he just hasn't showed it.
Yeah.
And I mean, at what part is this why possibly Omar Khan did not go out more aggressively? I think they went aggressive last year. It just fell through a few times for a number 2 wide receiver. Like you said, we're similar to where we were last year, except that I feel better with DK Metcalf versus George Pickens.
Yes.
Even though Pickens has had a good year, he's starting to have cracks.
We're starting to see Steelers George Pickens. Yep. As it stands right now, the Steelers would be the 4th seed, and there's really no chance of moving up because the Jaguars, as of right now, are 2 games ahead, and then up above that is the Broncos and the Patriots, who are 11-2. So I mean, forget about that.
I mean, unless the Jags completely fall off the face of the earth.
Right. Now, what's now right behind the Jaguars are the Texans, who are one game behind them right now. Yeah. So that could be interesting. But as it stands right now, if the playoffs started, the Steelers would be at home hosting the Bills. My God, please no, not again. Please, anybody but the
wait.
Bills.
I'll say this though. Wait a minute. The first half of the Bills game was not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. It was, the strip stack touchdown and the interception, which blew it out. But also, the Bills almost lost to the Bengals.
Right.
If Burrow does not throw a pick six, and then the next throw he has thrown there an interception, there was a good chance somehow in the snow, Cincinnati, who's having a bad year, could have beat the Bills.
It was very close. Yeah. If the Steelers did play the Bills again, it would definitely be close. I think, because the Steelers would have a lot to prove. You know, like you made us look so bad. The entire stadium was screaming for the coach to be fired.
Yeah.
You know what? We got a lot to prove. So it would be an interesting rematch. Still, I don't want it to happen.
No, but I mean, if you look at the other teams in the playoffs, I know early for talking playoffs, but the Chargers at 8-4, who are right now beating the Eagles
right
on Monday Night Football. And the three wildcard teams, Bills, Chargers, Texans. And the Texans have looked really good.
Yeah.
There's no, the Colts are going from the best team in football to not making the playoffs.
They just collapsed. They just fell apart.
And the fact that, Daniel Jones is out for the year, they're done.
They're literally thinking about bringing back Phillip Rivers, who's been retired for 3 years now?
I mean, honestly, they're 8-5, so they're right behind the Texans for the playoffs. So I could see that, but I mean, the next one down, and this is okay. Hold on. Wait. This is the section where we have stuff for the youths, where we talk about the Ravens, Chiefs, and Dolphins. All that.
6-7. Everybody had that joke after the game. How do you do, fellow kids?
Who would have predicted before this year started, you would have had the Ravens, Chiefs, and Dolphins all at 6-7
out of the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs and Ravens might be out of the playoffs. That is
the Chiefs
insane.
have not looked good. The Chiefs have not looked good, and the Chiefs have a bigger struggle than the Ravens.
Yeah,
because the Ravens still could catch the Steelers. The Chiefs have no chance. In fact, they are eliminated from winning their division.
Right.
The first time in 9 years. And I want to have a period of football where we don't have like one dominant team for a decade.
Right.
We went right from the Patriots to the Chiefs.
Right.
In the last 20
It looks
years.
like we might go right back to the Patriots. It's disgusting. I've seen Patriots fans like, oh, I'm so glad we're good again. We suffered for so long. What, for like 18 months? Like, what are you talking about?
And the fact that the Broncos and Patriots are running away with it right now.
Yeah. So next up is the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see what the weather is going to be like next Monday.
Cold.
Good.
Frigid. Because this is something we talked about early, is that at least I have a race scheduled for Sunday. Joe's thinking about doing a race. And Sunday morning will be 18 degrees with a wind chill of 8.
Now, this is a Monday night game. And as of right now, they're calling for snow on Monday and a low of 18. So good.
Yeah.
Bring
You're
it
talking
on.
Lower. You're talking during the game, probably lower 20s. Doesn't look like much wind.
I want those Miami folks to freeze like popsicles. You know, when you go from a warm weather place to where it's cold, it is the worst feeling ever. It's like when you're stuck in the cold and you're used to it. It's like what was it today? Like a high of 30 degrees or something like that. It's like, this wasn't quite. In February, if the high was 30 degrees, people would be in shorts. Like, oh my God, we have a heat wave. It's all what you're used to. But if you're used to 80 degrees and you come to 20 degrees, ooh, it's rough. Yeah. So, but still, Miami is playing really good. They have a really good running back, Achane. Tua exists.
That's the weird thing with Miami. If Tua could have a great game or a crappy game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, given his extensive history of concussions, which you don't want anyone to have concussions, because to me, concussions are different from like an arm or leg, because let's say, you get the Joe Theismann injury, or I forgot who else had his leg kind of dangle like this during the year. That happens. Okay. Your season's screwed, your career may be over, but you will be walking fine. You may be able to do athletic things in a couple of years after the recovery. You get concussion after concussion after concussion, you're all of a sudden 35 years old and you stop mid-conversation because your brain shuts down.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're very aware of that now, and they're very they try to prevent that. So if Tua gets another concussion, his career might be over.
Yeah, and he's having a good year, but like you said, you're coming up to a very cold environment for them, and people, people around Pittsburgh, even if you don't do, let's say, athletic stuff during the winter, most people shovel during the winter. So you know what it feels like when you go from the nice warm house, you put on your coat, you go outside, and you're like, oh, and you start shoveling, and all your muscles are tight, and your blood's not flowing quite right. It takes you a while to loosen up, but let's say you shovel for a while, you're doing okay, and you stop for a minute to take a break, talk to a neighbor, whatever, and then you start up again, and all your muscles just kind of go. And you have to loosen up again.
It's a different thing when you have to do athletic things in the cold weather. It's a totally different thing. So we'll see. I mean, the Steelers are dealing with their own injuries too. I mean, poor DK Metcalf had to spend another day in Baltimore. Poor guy.
Yeah.
So
for some kind of stomach thing.
Yeah. I mean, the worst part is he had to spend another day in Baltimore.
A major shout out to him though, for playing on the special teams on that one punt.
He was the gunner on that one punt, and he had a huge impact because that I think he resulted in Philadelphia in Baltimore taking a penalty, and that drove him even farther back. I mean, but still, your number one wide receiver being the gunner. I've never seen that before.
I've seen young number one receivers like Antonio Brown was a great kick returner. Yeah. Louis Lips was a great kick returner. Early in their career, when you could say, okay, he's great. He's our number 2 or 3 wide receiver, but not your number one. When you only have a number one.
But those guys were the returner. This guy was just doing a grunt job. Like, I'm the gunner. I'm just gonna run down here and try to hit someone. And he was all for it. So I mean, that is amazing. That just speaks so well. He's the exact opposite of George Pickens in terms of attitude. So that's awesome. Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully. But I mean, I don't know if Derek Harmon.
Oh, I really hope he comes back. I mean, they held their own without him, but still, he really makes that run defense go. So hopefully he's okay. We will see tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here. There was he was out. Yeah, I'm seeing older stuff. Nothing from today.
We'll get an update for tomorrow from Tomlin.
But hopefully, one thing that'll help is, since it is Monday Night Football, you get an extra day.
That's right. That's going to help. That extra day helps. Yeah.
But honestly, this year in football has made no sense.
Nope. No.
You know, the fact that, we may not pay attention much to the NFC because, we're more concerned about getting into playoffs. But the NFC North, you have the Packers in first place at 9-3-1, the Bears at 9-4 as the 7th seed, and the Lions out of the playoffs right now.
At 8-5. It's not like they're having a bad year. They're 8-5. And they might not make the playoffs. It's insane.
The 49ers is the third team in the NFC West. And they're
9-4. They're the third. That's how, the Seahawks and Rams might be like the top 2 teams in the league. And the 49ers are still the 49ers are the third.
And they're only a game out.
Yeah, they're only a game out. It's like, what else do we have to do? So it's an insane year. And it's going to be very interesting for the final 4 games to see how it goes. But the Steelers, they helped themselves so much with that win yesterday.
Oh yeah, that was so major.
Yeah,
because if they lose that, you lose the tiebreaker. You're playing catch up instead of having a game in hand. And like we said, if you look at the Ravens' schedule for the remainder of the year,
it's brutal.
Like I said, the Steelers still not easy because they still have the Dolphins, which we said, they're not there. They've been a good team recently. They're a hot team. The Lions, who even out of the playoff picture, are still
really good.
A good team.
I think we all assumed that was a loss, and I think that's still going to be a loss.
I would assume that, but not this year.
Hey, you never know. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' record against the Lions is, but I'll bet it's really good.
I bet it's really good. Yeah, I mean, Detroit did beat Dallas 44-30.
Yeah.
But, like it's, and then the Browns for the Steelers, and then the Ravens.
Yeah.
And now I'll say this. I don't think Shedeur Sanders has played a quality team, and he's lost, but he had stats-wise a great game.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
With all the bullshit I hate his guts. But you know what? And the main thing about him is he's just very, very, very cocky and very braggadocious and stuff. But you know what? It ain't bragging if you could back it up.
Yeah.
If you're, you walk the walk, you talk the talk. He's getting his chance, and he's balling out. And that even the coach, I think that even the coaches just said, "Well, okay, you're the starter the rest of the year." But you know what? Hey, man, he's proven it. He finally got his chance, and he's proven he belongs. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
And
the fact that now, admittedly, 364 yards, 23 of 42 is not great.
No,
Cleveland's pretty much given up on the running.
And the Titans are the worst team in the league, but still,
are
they
are
an
they
NFL
really
team.
Let's say, are they really? Because they beat the Cleveland Browns.
Right. I mean, they put up a lot of points on the Browns, and the Browns have like the best defense in the league. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, supposedly, yeah. But I mean, remember, Shedeur Sanders was also the leading rusher for the Browns for 29 yards.
There you go.
So I mean, that's going to be an ugly game, as all Pittsburgh Cleveland games are.
And it will be their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, this year goes from, like, oh, the Steelers won, and they look like they're in good shape, and then they not only do they lose, but recently the losses have been bad. I mean, bad losses.
I don't know why, but like on this playoff picture thing I'm seeing, it says The Colts playoff probability is 37%. The Ravens is 33%. The Chiefs playoff probability is 13%, and the Dolphins playoff probability is only 1%. But they're 6-7. I don't understand why. I guess they have some really bad tiebreakers or something.
Tiebreakers, yeah, it's the tiebreakers.
But still, hey.
And I think the Ravens are that much higher because of winning they still have a decent, they're still not out of the division, where the Chiefs and the Dolphins are completely out of their division.
Yeah.
So they have to get in, and it depends on like the Chargers and the Texans and the Bills, the other teams who are right now in wild card, the tiebreakers on that and what chances. And the fact the Bengals are still at 1%.
I mean, they could win the division at 8-9, and that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious if the division winner is 8-9, and in the NFC West, the division winner is probably going to be like 14-3 or something like that.
And honestly, because I have friends who are Bills fans, so nothing against them. I wanted Cincinnati to win last week.
Me too. They were a little mean when they beat us,
which is unusual for Buffalo.
Yeah. But Bills Mafia is like one of the best fan bases ever.
They still would have been 8-5 and in the playoffs, probably. But that would have meant the Bengals would have been 5-8 and only a game behind the Ravens.
Yeah, but I think the Bills did us a favor because I don't want the Bengals are too dangerous if they get anywhere close to the playoffs. So I'm kind of glad that they lost.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you there. But honestly, and I'm trying to think, is the game in Baltimore or in
Cincinnati? I believe, because I think the Bengals beat them in Baltimore. On Thanksgiving. So the next game would be in Cincinnati.
So I mean, if the Steelers, let's say the Steelers win, Ravens lose. I don't know if that pushes them completely out of the of winning the division because of tiebreakers. I know tiebreakers are weird, but
if
the Ravens really have to worry about the Bengals.
Because there's that second game between the Steelers and Ravens. So if the Ravens are anywhere close, they could still have that. But they would have to be at least a game behind, or they would have to be at most a game behind, because otherwise. So it's gonna get really interesting. But this Dolphins game is no gimme. So we'll see what happens. All right. Fun.
This is definitely not a boring year.
No,
we said it before, and it's still not a boring year.
And they made it even much more interesting by winning yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So
like you said, right now, if the playoffs start now, I wouldn't feel good with the Bills.
No,
I necessarily wouldn't feel good against the Chargers.
Of all the teams, Bills, Chargers, or Texans, I would rather play the Chargers out of all of them. But still, that's tough because Herbert is really good.
Yeah.
But he's also hurt. So we'll see. And then if it happens to be the Jaguars, that would be super interesting, because Trevor Lawrence is sometimes he looks good and sometimes he looks bad. So that would be very interesting. But
honestly, I think it's true, because the Texans could catch the Jaguars,
right?
And then the Jags go from the 3rd seed down to
7.
whatever,
7
or 6 or whoever.
Right.
But I'll say this: the Chargers right now, and this may go poorly, because we're recording this during Monday Night Football, magic of podcast. Halftime, Chargers are leading the Eagles 10-6.
I know it's in LA, but that shocks me how not good Philadelphia has been lately. That's just I don't know what is. I don't. They're just they look, if they lose this game, they are definitely imploding.
They're imploding, but with the Eagles, the second place team are the Cowboys,
right? Who really have no shot. I mean, the Cowboys are like 2 games behind. So
they're a game and a half behind because of the tie. Because right now they're 6-6-1.
Yeah.
And the Eagles would be 8-5 if they lose, but still, they still have a better chance. But yeah, right now, if they lose, the Buccaneers.
I guess it would be. Would it be beneficial for the Steelers if the Eagles won this game? I don't know. I guess because it's a AFC team.
I don't think it'd make much of a difference, honestly. I mean, if the Chargers win, I don't know how the tiebreakers are with the Bills.
I mean,
but it would at least get them tied with the Bills at 9-4 versus tied with the Texans at 8-5.
Right.
And like you said, unless the Jags and the Texans both collapse, the Steelers are stuck in the number 4 seed. But
you got to win the division. That's really the best path to the playoffs for the Steelers.
Yeah, and you host a game.
You can't. Yeah, and you host a game.
Which the Steelers have not done since 2020.
Which really wasn't a game because that was the COVID year.
Yeah,
that was the game against the Browns.
That was the year where
that was a disaster.
The first snap of the game by Pouncey
went over his head,
and then touchdown.
And that was his final game.
Yeah, that was the Ben and Pouncey on the sidelines.
Right.
Game.
Yeah, that was the year they went like 10-0 or 11-0 or something like that.
And then they crashed at the end because
this is the worst 10-0 team ever.
Yeah. Well, they were getting a combination of lucky, and it was old man Ben having a little spurt at the beginning of the year, but his body just gave out at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just such a weird year with all the COVID and that was just so weird. Nobody in the stands and stuff. So, all right, sir. Thank you to everybody for watching. I forgot to say, hey, welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sports Network. If you want to join in, it's too late because
we're leaving.
We're leaving, but in the future, if you want to join in, jump on YouTube or reply and Twitter stuff. But we'll see everybody
right there at the bottom. It's always right there.
Yeah, it's always on the bottom. Just look. All right, I'll see you.